One Piece is known for its amazing villains throughout the story, from Crocodile manipulating Alabasta from behind the scenes, to Doflamingo manipulating right in front of the Dressrosa people's faces, to Orochi causing suffering with the backing of the embodiment of brutality and force in Kaido, the toughest villain. And then there's the final villain build up of like the absolute justice following the Kaido route of pure force, like the pure force he punched a hole into Luffy's brother Ace. I'm talking about Akainu Sakazuki, the Red Dog. And then the final villain build up of a man's dream never dies and get it by any means, following the Doflamingo route of manipulating his way to the top of the pirate world. You could even say Blackbeard shares traits with Enel, an underrated villain who also had huge dreams connected to the Void Sentry. But none of these villains I name stand up to Nerona Imu, who's been involved in darkness through 3 world wars and would have a country disappear for no reason when testing his mother flame powered ancient weapon on Lulusia Kingdom. Whatever Imu wants, the world government will do, from the Marines to CP0 to the Holy Knights and the Gorosei, as we saw in Naked Island. With the reveal of Imu's origins and the monster form to the point people are laughing at Goldie Roger for his disease and execution after he found the One Piece, saw Joy Boy's tail, and didn't become the one to take out Imu when Joy Boy and the original Nika failed with all their help. We do a deep dive on the evil Imu and why he's so scary to the fanbase after One Piece 1138. Now, when it goes back to my memory of Imu, the first time that I have seen a moment that connects to what's going on in the One Piece story is Imu looking at Luffy's new 1.5 billion berry bounty after Whole Cake Island in front of a huge straw hat that's probably belonging to the original Nika, because I believe Joy Boy has Luffy's straw hat. What I mean by that is we never asked the question of where Roger got his straw hat. I assume that that's the lineage all the way to the Void Sentry and Joy Boy, but that huge straw hat that Imu was staring at, I think it might be revolving around the original Nika. Yes, I think the lore to One Piece is insane, and I feel like Imu is involved in a lot of things. His paws or his hands are on a lot of things, his fingerprints, so yes. Now, another iconic moment in my memory is during the Reverie. Towards the end of the Reverie, we see the great Imu playing with his butterfly and next to this forest environment, aka the chambers of flowers. And knowing what we know now makes a lot of sense why he's around the forest, because we saw, I believe it was the second world, they said the forest of God, God of Forest or something like that. And then we see Shirahoshi is his target, the ancient weapon Poseidon Shirahoshi. And Vivi is his love, because Vivi's the only picture that's not tore up, as Luffy, Blackbeard, and Shirahoshi are all tore up. And Luffy and Blackbeard are the 2 of the D members who are pirates making a name for themselves, just like Imu's main opposition, Joy Boy, the first ever pirate. People are thinking, why not Monkey D. Dragon's bounty pictures? Because Monkey D. Dragon is not a pirate, he's a revolutionary, it's a completely different thing. Now, that was before Wano. When it comes to after Wano, I think of the moment when Nika pretty much destroyed a country in Lulusia Kingdom, as the third prophecy has already started. Yes, because Wano, people understand the third world prophecy starts in Wano, where Luffy comes back laughing as the drums of a liberation are playing. That is the third prophecy. The return of Nika has already started. So for him to use the ancient weapon and of course cause the sea levels to rise and natural disasters all over the world, it's foreshadowing to Imu planning to destroy the world again, because every time Imu wins, the world is destroyed. Well, I shouldn't say Imu exactly, but Imu's power, Delphoid ability, because I believe Imu is from the Void Sentry, but the first world Imu is different. The same way I believe that Joy Boy, and then there's a different Nika in the ancient world, not the Void Sentry. Now, during the Egghead Island arc, this is the next time we see some big Imu related stuff. Yes, and this is when Sabo was explaining to Dragon Ivankov what actually happened when he was in the Holy Land, and Imu showed himself to Cobra after Cobra brought up the Willa D, and Lily, of course, from Alabasta, Queen of Alabasta, who went missing, who Imu was fond of. And Nerona Imu talks about how Lily was one of the 20 founding nations, but I think this character, Lily, might be the 6th individual on Imu's ship in the mural, because we see 6 individuals, and I know there's only 5 Gorosei. So I think Lily, because just till recently, Imu thought him and Lily were locked in. Yes, he had little suspicions, but he believed at the end of the day, Lily wasn't on their side fully. The whole reason why Imu even showed up in front of Cobra was to let Cobra know that the guys who have the D initial don't even know what it means. And that just makes me think of the text, the Harley text, where it talks about that fragmented moon in the third prophecy. That means that the moon was more together during the Void Century, but in the third world, they're more separated because they don't even know what that D initial is. And that's why it's easier for Imu to stop the Ds whenever they rise, like Rock's D's effect. Now back to Lily. Imu attacks after learning Lily was an official D member. Lily was not on your side as the founding members of the world government. She was actually on Joy Boy's side, which just angers him. He got betrayed by, I think, a love interest, for goodness sake. And her releasing the phonographs, he was already upset with that. But realizing that wasn't a mistake and that was done intentionally, honestly, Lily kind of reminds me of Toki. The same way that Toki sent the Kozuki Oden's red scabbards into the future to stop Kaido. It's like Lily sent those phonographs to stop Imu, and Imu, knowing that, really bothered him because he thought him and Lily were locked in, like I said. We then see Imu wants to use Mother Flame, and this is pretty much the build up until the Lulusia Kingdom being destroyed. This is a Vegapunk creation. Vegapunk's been studying the Void Century and the ancient technology and realized that Void Century was actually more advanced than what's going on right now in the One Piece current story. And then, of course, this is why he destroyed Lulusia, was just to test out if Mother Flame worked or not. Because if Mother Flame worked, that means he has an ancient weapon on his back. And Mother Flame was on that mural. And then, of course, another mural that Mother Flame was on was Enel's mural, meaning Imu might have confirmed the ancient weapon Uranus, the one we've been looking for. Because we know Pluton is in Wano, and we know Shirahoshi Poseidon is in Fishman Island. So, yeah. We also see Imu wants Vivi, and we still don't know how Lily died. We know she went missing, but looks like Luffy versus Imu will involve Vivi heavily. Hence, the X in the newspaper that just happened in the beginning of the Elbaf arc, that the original Alabasta crew would have understood, but that Robin, Frankie, Brooke, and Jinbei had no clue about. So I can't wait to see them read that newspaper at the end of Elbaf and realize, oh, we have to go save Vivi. And Imu wanting Vivi, it's going to be intense. And then, of course, this is where we can actually learn about Lily and how she passed away. Because we know a lot about Lily already. Little D member. We know that she was actually on Joy Boy's side. We know that she sent the pornographs out. But I want to know more about how she succumb to the end of her. Like, I think she sacrificed herself when it's all said and done. Even Ivankov is interested in the origins of Imu. Because when Sabo lets them know that the King Imu on the throne, Ivankov says there was actually someone named Nerona Imu during the Void Century, during one of the founding members of the world government, Nerona Imu. So Ivankov thinks an immortal surgery was done on him since the Second World, meaning if an immortal surgery was done on him, who knows what immortal surgery has been done on. I don't think it's been done on the Gorosei. I think Imu probably just gave the Gorosei immortality through some other means. But still, I think this is really deep and complex when it comes to how second world individuals are still controlling the third world and how Luffy has to stop these winners of the second world. It reminds me of Doflamingo's speech, how he talked about pretty much it's not the person who decides history is the winner of the battle. And Imu and Gorosei are prime examples of deciding history by erasing 100 years of history. We even see the aftermath of the Lulusia Kingdom being destroyed, and yes, sea levels rose by 1 meter. And we see a bunch of water falling into that hole where Lulusia Kingdom used to be. It kind of reminds me of Ennie's Lobby as well. This is how I feel like sea levels are rising. And I think Imu will have to be spamming that ancient weapon Uranus during the war, during the Void Century, for, of course, islands to be succumbed by the ocean. Even towards the end of Vacant Island, where Vegapunk was exposing everything, explaining the Void Century, Imu was just thinking, damn, this dude's actually talking about this forbidden truth. But I can't kill him because Vegapunk telling the message is from him dying. Yeah, him dying triggered the message, and he was already dead. And the Celestial Dragons don't even understand the Void Century. That shocked me too as well. Seeing some Celestial Dragons upset, of course, but some Celestial Dragons are like, Void Century? What's going on? They don't even understand when Imu has pretty much created a world of them because of the second world and their ancestry. Imu has created pretty much them to be above regular humans. Imu really wanted to cover everything up, but also it gives Saul a good laugh when Vegapunk's exposing this because, of course, Vegapunk talking about the poneglyphs, the Harley text, 3 world. Saul's just chilling comfortably knowing the truth. Like, he's thinking, hey, I know the truth as well. Shout out to Ohara. Vegapunk then exposes the disaster 800 years ago caused by the ancient weapons, and this weapon still exists, and the Great War is still ongoing. Because if you think about it, the first world, second world, third world, it could all just be one war that's been continued on for years, for hundreds and hundreds of years. Yes, thousands of years if you can go deeper to the ancient world. So honestly, you could look at that perspective like that. And as it cuts to Imu, we see Imu, and I feel like this definitely is showing how the story of One Piece is all connected. That's why I even thought like this mural is kind of like the end of One Piece, because it talks about the prophecy of the third world while explaining the first and second world. Yes, we don't see full details and like flashbacks and everything, which I can't wait to see, but still, it's kind of exposing things that we've been theorizing for years. And then we see Imu staring at a portrait of Lily, just confirming, yeah, his obsession with Lily and Nefertari and the Alabasta Kingdom. Makes sense why he never destroyed the Alabasta Kingdom. Like, you would think after Lily, of course he didn't know Lily was against him fully, but still makes sense why he hasn't destroyed Alabasta Kingdom. He loves Lily, even though they didn't want to live on, of course, the Celestial Dragons, with Celestial Dragons, and become like the 19 other kings. And I feel like he's mad at Vegapunk right now, which is kind of Vegapunk's kind of humanizing. I don't think Vegapunk's doing it, but Imu's humanizing himself, this monster, making me think that Imu from the first world is completely different and a complete and total monster. While the second world, there is a little human in him. In the third world, of course, is the same Imu. Because I think Imu, his Delph fruit is what the ancient world is, but Imu from the Void Century and Imu from now is just inheriting the powers of Delph fruit. That's how I see it, just how the same way Joy Boy and Luffy inherited Nika. And then of course at the end of the Egghead Island arc, Imu feels Joy Boy's hockey and goes down to his knee like he's a little Dirk or something. And this is the Second World War PTSD. This Void Century flashback honestly is going to be crazy, bringing the second world, the mural, to life. It'll be hype. It's kind of like the Avengers Endgame from when I watched from the mural, like all these different races against Imu. It kind of reminds me of Avengers Endgame, Thanos versus the Avengers. And all in all, I can't wait to see how Oda actually shows us the Void Century flashback. Yes, the Ancient World flashback is going to be cool and all, but now I'm more interested in the Void Century flashback because of this mural. And in all honesty, Imu only killed Saturn, one of his like strongest loyal soldiers from the second world, Saint Saturn, because of Joy Boy's hockey, someone he fought with like in the second world. Otherwise Saturn would have been still left alive, in my opinion, because I think I think the Gorsa even know that Imu respects them the most because they know of his existence. But for Guardian to replace Saturn, I think, yeah, Joy Boy, anything that happens from the second world that affects Imu, yes, the Gorsia are liable to being taken out. So when it comes to the future and Imu and what we know of this character and how it affects the future, I think Monkey D. Dragon vs. Imu needs to happen now more than ever. And sorry, but I think Dragon is going to be used as a tool to hype up Imu. I think he will cause damage to Imu, but I think Dragon is going to be used as a tool to hype up Imu, because I think Dragon is currently at least top 5 strongest in the story. I think maybe top 2 strongest in the story, probably top 1. Maybe I think top 2 actually. Imu's number 1, but I think that Dragon is up there in power. We haven't seen nothing of him, but he's Luffy's father and Garp's son in his prime. So I think Dragon is going to fight Imu, and we're going to see a cool moment here. But Dragon is not inheriting Nika. He's not the true enemy of Imu. But it will be cool to see Dragon fight Imu, lose, and then of course Luffy get in there, because Luffy, of course, it's gonna be interesting to see Imu talk about Luffy's father and everything like that, and then of course tie it into the Void Century and everything. So, and Dragon has a lot of knowledge, chilling with Nika Robin, of course, having a connection with of course Clover. Now a surprise twist will be Blackbeard versus Imu. I don't think it's gonna be as hype as Dragon versus Imu, because definitely Blackbeard just wants to be the king of the world. Like that, his goal is just to be number 1. So I think instead of a fight, a clash would be cool, seeing the darkness of Blackbeard, the Yami Yami no Mi, and pretty much the Gurga no Mi, and something else unique with a special race tackle on Imu a little bit in a clash, and Imu explaining how Blackbeard is important in the lore of the One Piece lore. I think Blackbeard is important in the One Piece lore, but a little bit different from Luffy and Joy Boy and Nika. I think his Will D is a little bit different, and it may tie into rocks. And of course, it also will tie into Joy Boy, as Imu can denounce Blackbeard like Whitebeard did. He can say, you're not the one that Roger's waiting for, in a sense, in a similar fashion of, you're not the one that's supposed to change like the world, in a sense. You're not my true enemy. And it'll be cool to see Blackbeard and Imu clash, but I don't want them to see them fight. I think Dragon Imu fight, Dragon lose, Blackbeard Imu fight, clash with the darkness clashing, and then what leads up to what finally needs to happen. Yep, that's right. I think Luffy and his Grand Fleet and an ancient weapon Pluton, and if he doesn't get Pluton and Blackbeard gets Pluton, maybe an ancient weapon Poseidon and Shirahoshi, and probably the Noah's Ark, Zonisha, and I think it'll be just cool to see all these allies of Luffy. Pretty much in the more he's gonna need a lot more power to deal with Imbu as well, especially like Kankusaki coding and awakening is cool and all, and makes him one of the strongest characters in the story. But yeah, Luffy needs to be way stronger to deal with Imbu after what we just saw in the recent chapter. It's like, honestly, I think Imbu's power is insane. It's like pretty much it's gonna be enough. Imbu's gonna have enough power to make Kaido look cute in comparison. So I think Luffy needs to level up himself. I think Elbaf's a great arc to do that. But I think that Luffy versus Imbu is going to be Luffy's biggest challenge he's ever faced. And I've been a fan of the Luffy versus Blackbeard. I've been a fan of Luffy versus Akainu final villain hype. But yeah, Imbu is just a whole different ballgame because Luffy's not just fighting for the world. He's fighting for 3 worlds that were pretty much destroyed because of Imbu. Luffy's not just fighting for the current people, the present people. He's fighting for the past and the future, all timelines. So yeah, definitely gotta say, that just shows you how pure evil Imbu is and how great of a villain Imbu is. At the end of the day, you gotta give respect. So debate in the comment section if you disagree.